Hello art friends, my name is Kylie and this is Passion for Fashion. This is your first lesson and we're going to be looking at the material to create your amazing outfits. But we're not going to use real material, we're going to paint paper and make our own patterns. Before we start, we need to make sure we have all the supplies that we need. So let me go over what you will need for today. I have A3 white paper, some A4 coloured paper, oil pastels, 2 brushes. I have a wide brush and my round brush. I have water, a water spray, and I have my eco colour dyes. I also have some paper towel and newspaper underneath my work, and I'm ready to get started. So we're going to do 3 different sort of pattern work. So I'm going to break this down into 3 smaller lessons within the lesson. It will be easy. You will love it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is look at creating patterns for our outfits. Now, a pattern is simply something that's repeated. So let's get started with something really simple. So I want you to think of a shape, any shape, and then that shape will turn into a pattern. If you can't think of one yourself, just copy me, but you can go and do whatever you like. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose a colour. It really doesn't matter what colour you choose. I'm just going to take a blue. So my first pattern is going to be dots. When you repeat a dot, it turns into a pattern called polka dots. And I'm going to have some polka dot outfits later, so I'm going to make some polka dots. I'm going to use not the whole sheet of paper, just some of it, because I'm going to do 4 different patterns. I don't have to use just one coloured pastel. If I wanted to make my polka dots 2 different colours, I can do that. I can even do a circle around the polka dots like this and make the pattern a little bit more complicated. So just repeating a shape over and over again becomes a pattern. I'm very happy with that. Now, my second one, I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to take a white pastel. Normally, you wouldn't use white on white, but because we're going to be doing a resist method, this will work. And for this pattern, I'm just going to use a scribble. Now, you won't see this maybe yet, but you can see what I'm doing with my hand, and you will see later on what this looks like. So that's a scribbly pattern. You can see my hand scribbling away. Right, now another one. I'm going to take a different colour. I might take my pink, and this time I'm going to do a pattern called chevron. So a line pattern can often become a design pattern. Chevron is repeated zigzags. So I'm going to go zigzag. And to make it more interesting, I am going to swap colours. So I'm going to do green and pink. So patterns do have names. Dots become polka dots, flowers become floral, zigzags become chevron, thick and thin lines become plaid. And it's quite fun to work out the names of all these patterns as you go. I'm just taking that right down to the end of my paper. Okay, so I have one sort of area left, and I am going to do a floral design because I just mentioned it then, and my floral design is going to be flowers. And I've used my whole sheet of paper. Now I'm going to just push my pastels to the side, and we are going to do a layer of eco colour. So you have 3 colours. They're your primary colours: yellow, blue and red. And I've put these into smaller containers, but you can make new colours from those three primary colours. So yellow and blue will make green, yellow and red will make orange, and red and blue will make purple. I'm going to start off with just plain yellow. Now, you can work directly with your eco colour onto your paper, and the oil pastel will resist and the eco colour will not stick to your oil pastel, so you can now see the white coming through. You can add a bit of water if you like, and you can water out your eco dye. I'm just going to spray my paper, and I'm just going to clean my brush and show you how I can even add another colour. So I'm going to add a little bit of the red. And when I add a little bit of the red to the yellow, that's right, it's going to make orange. So there's my little bit of red, and that's making orange. And the more red I add, the darker it will get, as you can see. And now I'm going to put different colours over my oil pastel pattern or clothes designs. And I've finished my first sheet of materials. I'm going to put that to the side so it can dry. This next design is one of my favourites. I'm going to teach you how to do plaid. So plaid is a mixture of thick and thin lines, and I'm going to show you a trick to do it. So I'm going to start off with yellow pastel, and to make my thick line I'm going to hold my pastel on the side and push and run it down my page to make a thick line. I just went over it twice. Now I'm going to turn my pastel vertical and do the same thing, running it down the sheet. And when you run your pastel down the sheet of paper, it tends to want to keep a straight line. I'm going to repeat that on the side and then straight, and I might repeat it one more time and do a straight one there. Now I'm going to do red next, but I don't want the line to be this thick, so I'm going to take a broken pastel, or you can break a pastel. It is okay to break your pastels. Let me show you. Okay, I'm going to break the pastel, and that will give me a thick line but a different size. My thin line, thick line, you can overlap, thin line, thick line and thin line. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to turn my page around and do it in the other direction. So I'm going to go thick line, thin line, thick line, well, not so straight that one, thin line. Okay, I would like to add one more colour, so I'm going to take my blue, thick line, thin line, and I'm just going to sort of fill these gaps and turn it again. Now when you're finished, you're going to do the same thing and cover it with a coloured eco dye and choosing any colour that you wish. I'm going to go with, might start with yellow, but I might turn the yellow into orange. I'll see how I go. Now because I'm going to cover the whole sheet of paper, to make the eco dye move easier, I'm going to spray it and get a little bit of water on there. I'm going to take a wider brush, but you can do it with either brush. I'm going to get some and put some splats, and I've got a bit of blue on my brush, so this is actually going green because I'm using a bit of dirty water. So it's not going to be too yellow, it's going to be a bit green. That's okay. And make sure this brush is wet so it moves easier, and I'm going to get my colour down. So when I need more colour, so we're going to do one more thing. We're going to use some of our coloured paper. So I'm going to take a piece of coloured paper. So I've already got yellow. So I might actually do a black design, and I might just do 2 designs. So I'm going to do a black. I'm going to cross my lines and make it a checker. And on this one I might make some squares. And by changing the size, we might make my pattern more interesting. So I'm going to do small square, big square, small square, big square, small square, big square, and I'm overlapping. Another square, filling up all the spaces. And again, I'm going to put some of the colour behind, but I'm going to choose my colours carefully this time because I'm working on paper that is already yellow. It would be silly to put yellow on yellow. So I'm actually going to go for something darker and use blue, but this time when I cover my paper, I'm going to try to leave some gaps so the yellow comes through. Again, I'm going to spray my paper first so it gets a coating of water. Take my blue and I'm going to gently add the blue here and there. We did a lot that lesson, and now I would like you to go and have an experiment and a play. And if you don't get something right straight away, I don't want you to worry. You just keep trying and trying, because it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to work out. So you have 3 types of designs that you can try. One is to do patterns on white paper by repeating shapes. The second is to try using your oil pastel on the side and doing straight lines to create a plaid pattern. If you find this hard at first, please don't give up and keep trying, because you will get it. And the third one is to have a little experiment on maybe some of on coloured paper. And then you can do more than one of these sheets, so you have several different papers, because we're going to be using those papers to create our outfits. I will see you in lesson 2. Good luck.